Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 1 of season 2 of your W Factor podcast, a wrestling based podcast in which Luke and I will review the week of wrestling. This being the pilot episode to season 2, we will cover the Royal Rumble that happened just Sunday past. And at the end of the show, we'll talk about changes and some exciting stuff to look forward to in the future, along with our social media links and such. So we'll dive just straight into the Royal Rumble. We had a very quick match between Drew McIntyre and Goldberg for the WWE Heavyweight Champion. Now, Drew McIntyre retained, which I'm glad they decided to go down that route instead of putting the title on a part-timer like Goldberg. However, a lot of people were very upset that a spot was taken away from someone and given to Goldberg. But, you know, being a fan of Drew McIntyre and watching Drew McIntyre come from the Indies when he was known as Drew Galloway, I am happy that he, got to work with someone that he watched growing up. As a child, as a wrestling fan, as a child, he watched Goldberg in WCW and WWF and stuff. So, for me, I'm very happy that he had an opportunity to work with someone that he looked up to and someone that he admired. And the match itself was maybe around 3-4 minutes long, so it wasn't exactly taking up too much time. However, there was no real impact storyline wise, which I suppose is one negative you could pull away from it.
Like, if it was a real match, who would they replace instead?
Well, yeah, exactly. They've kind of Randy Orton has ran his course with Drew, and then they didn't really put him up against anyone else. They never threw anyone in the title scene with him. A lot of people are just upset that it's the Royal Rumble, it's the road to WrestleMania. There's not a title feud in place for Raw, at least. I mean, there's one for SmackDown, like Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, they're still going pretty strong with their feud, but there's not really a feud in place for the Raw brand for the big title. And there still isn't really a feud in place, which obviously we'll discuss the winner of the Royal Rumble at the end.
Yeah.
And you'll understand, if you haven't already seen it, you'll understand why, even though there is a winner to the Royal Rumble, there still really isn't a title story in the mix. But we'll get to that. Now, before I move on further in the Royal Rumble, there was a kick-off show in which the Women's Tag Team Championship was passed from Asuka and Charlotte to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler yet again, because Lacey Evans. There has been some story progression while we have been on hiatus. Lacey Evans is now having relations with Ric Flair.
Yeah.
So she is now making it her mission to become Charlotte's stepmom, which causes distractions during Charlotte's matches and such. Now, Charlotte came back at TLC just before the year ended, and that was very cool to see sort of Charlotte coming back. I expected her to take a longer period of time from the wrestling scene, but I was glad that she came back. I'm glad that her and Asuka teamed up. However, they've held the belts for just under a month and it's already been taken off them, so we'll see where they go with the tag belts. I don't really like Shayna Baszler or Nia Jax.
I like Shayna as like a wrestler.
Yeah, I don't think they're a good tag team, and I don't think they ever will be a good tag team. There is such a thing as obviously tag teams, accidentally working well together even though they don't like each other. However, I believe that that's all Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax have, is this opposite chemistry sort of thing where they work well together but they don't like each other. But after like 6 months of them being this explosive tag team, it's kind of getting dull now.
No, well, the thing is, nobody really likes Nia Jax.
Nobody likes Nia Jax just now.
And people quite like Shayna. Like, they still do quite like her, to be honest.
Fans like Shayna, but apparently there's backstage, like the creative team and stuff don't like Shayna. We know that we have discussed on our run of season 1 that Vince McMahon doesn't feel Shayna Baszler can wear a title because she's not attractive.
Yeah.
So that's something to sort of like take into consideration as well, is that if the big boss man, well, not boss man, but Vince McMahon doesn't feel that Shayna Baszler can hold a title, then she's never going to get a title, in which case, what's the point, really, just now?
Yeah.
So that...
The thing is like, it's like a women's division and they're all just full of like attractive women, and then like if you're not attractive, you're kind of lumped into this bad guy.
Yeah, if you're talented but not attractive, you're not getting anything. You're the bad guy, you're not getting any chances. However, if you're attractive and not talented, you'll be pushed and pushed and pushed until you can touch the stars, basically.
Yeah. I think AEW could really benefit off someone like Shayna.
I think AEW could benefit from a lot of people, especially some of the NXT women who are talented and somewhat attractive. I think definitely AEW could sort of up the ante with their women's division. There is an AEW Women's Championship tournament, elimination tournament, coming up soon. And that is bringing over a lot of Japanese competitors from New Japan and from All Japan, which is really going to be giving them this spotlight, which I think is really good. Like, AEW are bringing people in without giving them contracts, which is one thing that WWE have never done and probably never will do, is bring people in just as exhibition.
Yeah.
And if they're good, if they're liked, maybe throw a small contract their way. However, you know, you can only perform with WWE after you've signed with them, whereas AEW has shown us from their year and a half long run that they will bring people in and then sign them after they've sort of proven their worth. So, like, a good example would maybe be Miro or Rusev was brought in and then wasn't actually given a contract to sign for like 4 weeks, which was long enough for him to get deep into a storyline, develop a character, develop a heel fan, well, not a heel fan base, I suppose is what you would call it for him, before being given a piece of paper to sign. And that goes for people like Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy only fairly recently signed a contract after debuting in a crowdless arena and stuff. So AEW seem to be doing something a little bit smarter than WWE.
It's just WWE is more of a business than AEW is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, they've got a lot of money, so they can afford to do stuff like that. Like, they're still known as the big business to go for, the big league.
Yeah.
It's just like AEW is smaller, and what if they can get us as much? What's the word I'm looking for? It's exposure from exposing other wrestlers as well. Yeah. That other people would like, and they go like, oh, I quite like AEW because they've got this wrestler. And of course Japan, who have a very hardcore, dedicated fan base. It's two different playing fields for each company. Yeah.
AEW are still classed as the indies just now, which I wouldn't personally say that they were still the indies, and not just because they've got like a television deal and stuff, and they do have lots of money with Tony Khan's sort of trust fund that he's got from his dad, but I don't know, I would say that they are on par with WWE just now. Well, at least
I like AEW a lot more, but they still have their issues, you know what I mean?
They do still have their issues. They do still have a lackluster women's division. They do have too many tag teams.
Yeah, single divisions a bit.
Yeah, single divisions not really touched upon. AEW Dark, I used to watch AEW Dark on a Tuesday and then Dynamite on a Wednesday, but I've gotten to the point now where I just watch Dynamite, and halfway through Dynamite they tell you the results from AEW Dark, and if there's anything substantial, like there was a promo from Sammy Guevara, and a few months ago there was a promo from Scorpio Sky on Dark that were just replayed on Dynamite. So, you know, ever since I dropped out of watching Dark, I've not really had any incentive to go back, because anything you miss just gets given to you anyway, kind of spoon fed to you. So yeah, every company has its issues. There's no perfect company out there. Die-hard fans will always say that, you know, Lucha Underground was perfect, or Ring of Honor's perfect, or New Japan's perfect, but every company has its issues. That's always going to be the case. There's going to be no such thing as a perfect company for wrestling.
I would say the reason why I love AEW is because it's wrestlers, you know, the characters of it.
Yeah.
MGF, they've got Chris Jericho, Matt Hardy, they've got Kenny Omega, who I do agree is losing some steam when he joined AEW, but
yeah,
I do believe he can pick it back up and go back to those Japan days.
Definitely, with what they're doing with Impact just now, I think Kenny Omega, the Good Brothers, you know, we might even see some other past Bullet Club members coming in. Not AJ Styles and not Finn Balor, obviously, but maybe some guys from New Japan who are still there. But yeah, so...
Because AEW ruins the wrestlers. Look at Shinsuke. He was...
WWE.
The biggest thing ever on WWE.
Yeah, he's... at the Rumble, when he entered the Royal Rumble this year, Corey Graves said on commentary that we've number so-and-so, Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, they used to call him the artist formerly known as Shinsuke Nakamura, which I always kind of thought was I don't know, for some reason that makes me think that you're the artist who is formerly known as someone, but like Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince and stuff like that. To me, that made it seem as if it was past their prime almost. However, Shinsuke Nakamura, on commentary, Corey Graves said that Shinsuke Nakamura was bringing back the King of Strong Style title, which is obviously his big New Japan stuff. So I like that idea that they're maybe giving him a little bit more free rein to be who he was before, because he was cool in Japan. After the whole King of Strong Style stuff, he would come down in this big long flowing cloak along with a big ass crown, which was just cool looking. But yeah, so we went off on a bit of a tangent there. So the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, after we had the Goldberg and Drew match, as I say, Drew managed to retain, which is good. Keep that on McIntyre for a while. Don't let him lose it to a part-timer. Don't bring back Brock Lesnar in that sort of situation where Goldberg only has to appear on television 4 times a year or something like that.
Full-timers are the way, you know. Part-timers are supposed to have really small storylines and they do their part.
Yeah, they do. They're there for special episodes and for special occasions and special pay-per-views, so that people can be like, oh, like a big pop. Don't put a belt on.
John Cena with his US title, that was a good part-time. Was it part-time?
That started off part-time and then turned into full-time. That was John Cena was back when he was doing his US title run. But yeah, I'm glad that they never gave it to Goldberg, just because he is a legend. So after that we have the SmackDown Women's title match, Sasha Banks versus Carmella. Now Carmella, to me, I would still class her as a diva. To me, she still belongs in the long dead divas division, along with many others that are currently on the women's division. That I just there's the whole women's revolution that was Paige, AJ Lee, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Bayley. There's people within the women's division who belong within their own division. And then there's other people Mandy Rose, Carmella, the kind of the girly girls that are just being used as like clickbait.
Okay.
Yeah, like you see them in like WWE thumbnails and stuff, and you're just kind of like, oh, that's a pretty girl. Then you click on it.
So are you saying that you think Carmella isn't talented enough? Because I've seen a lot of people say that she does have some good talent.
I would say she has some good talent, but it's the character.
Really? Okay.
Her character's very... I can wrestle, but I'm not going to wrestle because I'll break a nail or I'll ruin my hair. And I'm just kind of like... There's egotistical, and then there's...
Going back to that old...
Going back to just being a diva.
Yeah.
And if you've got characters that are doing that, just bring back the Divas belt and make that the mid-card title for the women's division if that's what you want to do. But yes, she's very talented and Sasha Banks is very talented. They did have a good match. Sasha ended up retaining the title, which I'm happy with. There was 2 moments where Carmella had Sasha locked in a submission hold, and Sasha Banks' selling to me was so impressive because there was so many moments where I felt her hand was going to come down and slap the mat and tap out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love good selling. Good selling makes a good wrestling match for me. But yep, as I say, she retains. We move on to a performance from Bad Bunny.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know who Bad Bunny is. Bad Bunny's like a hip hop artist.
Oh right, so it's like that in between thing. I
yeah,
thought it was like a
a
wrestler there. I was like,
no,
that's
yeah.
a match.
Well, we'll see what happens with this guy's career.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny then does a performance with a hip hop song that's completely in Spanish. So to me, I didn't know what he was rapping about. I didn't really like I didn't really like the song. Like I couldn't understand the lyrics, but the song itself, I just didn't like how it sounded. Never heard of the guy, and Booker T stood still in the middle with his arms crossed, dressed in his GI Bro gear, while Bad Bunny rapped in circles around him. And then at the very end of the song, he passed the mic to Booker T, who just shouted, "Can you dig it, sucker?" And then Booker T started doing like this dad dance, and I was like, oh man. So when I heard that Booker T was at the Rumble, I thought he was in the Rumble, and I was like, oh hell yeah, Booker T. No, Booker T just stood completely still, dressed as if he was going into war, and then did a little dad dance before that was the end of the segment. So
sounds like a skit.
Yeah, but Bad Bunny makes an appearance later on in the pay-per-view, and there is talks of Bad Bunny having a WrestleMania match.
No, like just the sound of it.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to touch on this for too long because the last time we brought up something that I wasn't happy about, we ranted for like 15 minutes and the audio capture kept going into the red, and I believe it was Matt Riddle's feet the last time.
Probably,
and then before that I think it was Velveteen Dream, and then before that I think it was Roman Reigns.
Yeah, the Velveteen Dream one was about people talking about Triple H's investigatory abilities.
Triple H is like a fucking detective, and it's like, oh well, why is he let him come back? I was like, well, he's clearly looked into the matter and he doesn't feel that it's serious. Anyway, so Bad Bunny, the rumours are he will have a WrestleMania match, and people have then started to complain. Why is this guy getting a WrestleMania match? I've never heard of him, I don't like him, his performance at the Rumble was rubbish. And a lot of people have jumped on Bad Bunny's defence, but defending him about the wrong thing. They're blaming the people that aren't happy about Bad Bunny having a WrestleMania match based on the fact that he is a black Latin American. Oh. Exactly. That's why I don't want to rant on this for too long, because it really frustrates me to such a point where I have jumped into multiple Facebook and Twitter rants and comments basically saying that's not why the wrestling fans aren't happy. What they're not happy about is the fact that we don't know who this guy is, and he is being given a spot in WrestleMania over so many other people who are currently in the business, currently have wrestling training, currently are not being given opportunities because of people like Bad Bunny.
There's so many foreign wrestlers that people love.
Exactly.
The Rock is
It's got nothing to do with race. Okay. There's some people out there will have something to do with race, but those people are just negative.
They're not wrestling fans.
Yeah, they're just like the embodiment of darkness.
There's Roman,
exactly.
Like Drew's Scottish.
Yeah, they're like, it's got nothing to do with his race. If you want to defend the guy, defend the subject that people are actually upset and angry about. Don't defend something that has nothing to do with it. Anyway, that's it. I don't want to touch on that for too long. After that was the Women's Royal Rumble, which overall the Women's Royal Rumble I wasn't disappointed with. I did, however, feel that in comparison to the men, I know it's a little bit negative of me to compare it to the Men's Royal Rumble because they are two separate divisions and you do have to take each of their individual qualities. However, there was a lot of moments in the Women's Royal Rumble where I felt it was quite clumsy, and just a little bit unchoreographed. And I know wrestling's not supposed to be over choreographed because it is supposed to have this illusion that it is real, but we know it's not real. But at the same time, it's not a dance. It is supposed to be a choreographed fight scene.
Yeah.
We had lots of NXT women make an appearance, which I thought was great. Especially, there are still fans out there. I know some personally, and I've seen them on like social media and stuff. There are fans out there who still don't watch NXT because their excuse is they don't know anyone.
Mm.
Well, yeah, but like, if it wasn't okay, if you take away John Moxley, if you take away, God rest his soul, Brody Lee, if you take away Chris Jericho and some other people, you don't know anybody in AEW. Yet people have clearly watched it. People still watch it. People enjoy it. I'm one of them. Luke's one of them.
I mean, like when you start watching WWE, you don't know anyone.
Exactly. Like if you're new to the wrestling scene, if you're new to wrestling, or if you're an older fan who dropped out and has recently got back into it, yeah, you're not going to know MD. You might know Jerry Lawler or Michael Cole when they're on the telly, but you're not going to know any of the wrestlers just now. So your excuse that you don't watch NXT because you don't know the people it's just not compatible for me.
Yeah.
Unless you try it. Because obviously, before I started watching NXT, I didn't know anybody that was in NXT. But it's good, and it's got a better women's division than WWE and maybe even AEW have just now.
And like you can just look at NXT and just see some cool characters.
Exactly, like
Loomis. Like how can you
Loomis, Damian Priest,
yeah,
Tommaso Ciampa. Yeah, there's so many cool characters and there's so many good wrestlers in NXT. So to have female NXT competitors come up and join in the Women's Rumble, I felt really proud for them. Lacey Evans made an appearance during the Women's Royal Rumble. However, instead of Lacey Evans' music playing, it was Ric Flair's theme that came on.
Yeah.
So everybody was like, "What's Ric Flair doing out here?" Now, I knew why he was coming out, but at the same time, my first instinct was, is this like an R-Truth moment? Has he come out for the wrong Rumble or something like that?
Because like he has this persona of just being a crazy
guy.
Guy.
So Ric Flair comes out, he does his little strut, he slaps the inside of his elbows. I don't know where that came from. He's been doing it like ever since he came back over the past like 5 years or something. He slaps the inside of his elbows for some reason. So he comes in, he does his wee Nature Boy strut, and then he points. Now at this point, Charlotte's already in the ring. She's performing. She's doing her stuff, and then Ric Flair points to the back, the beginning of the entrance ramp, and out comes Lacey Evans dressed in his big, long Nature Boy purple robe with the feathers and shit like that. So instantly, I think Charlotte eliminates somebody just out of sheer rage, and then she just stands completely still in the centre of the ring, watching Lacey Evans and Ric Flair walk down. Ric Flair gives her a kiss in the cheek. Lacey Evans doesn't get a chance to get in the ring before Charlotte attacks her, so she still got the robe on. So by the end of this whole segment, there was purple feathers flying about the ring because of all the circulating breath and stuff like that, all the wind that was there. So yeah, that was cool. The Thunderdome was suffering some really bad lag, which, okay, it's understandable, but at the same time it was a bit annoying because you've got the inputted audio of the fans shouting down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, all the way down to 1 when the next competitor comes in for the Rumble. So you've got the audio that's been placed over that, and it's not actually coming from the fans themselves on the Thunderdome. But as the audio's doing the countdown, the fans in the Thunderdome screams are doing the numbers on their hands, but they're like 4 numbers behind. So when it gets to 0 and then the bell comes on and then the theme song starts playing for the next competitor, as that competitor gets to the ring, there's still people on the screens doing 5, 4, and it's like, oh, come on, man. There's very little detail, but I will continue to moan about the Thunderdome
It's
not being up to scratch.
It's not authentic.
No, it's...
And like that's why WWE is just not working. It's just you want to see people.
Yeah, I don't want an empty arena. I don't think Impact are doing the best thing by not letting anybody in. They're being safe. They're being safe.
Yeah.
I understand that they're being safe, and I respect
they are
that.
Focusing on skits.
Yeah, they're focusing on a lot of backstage stuff, as Luke says. They're focusing on more story than matches.
Mm-hmm.
However, AEW seems to have found a really good balance by having wrestlers and backstage personality that, they're there to work. That's their place of work. They are allowed to break social distancing for their place of work. Everyone gets tested before they come in. They get tested before they leave. So it's safe. So they're allowed to be around the arena, and that to me is enough. They don't have to. I'm not saying they have to be fans that are buying tickets, but there just needs to be some sense of live crowd there, like NXT did when they had people with the perspex screens,
and what WWE
started doing, like Extreme Rules. They had the perspex screens that were used really well as weapons, as well as to keep the audience safe. But the Thunderdome, I will complain about it until they stop, because there will always be something for me to complain about. R-Truth then tries to join the Rumble and only realises that it's the wrong Rumble when he jumps on the apron, has a quick look around, and then Alicia Fox tells him, "You're in the wrong Rumble." So he does the whole, "My bad, this one on me," and he tries to jump away. Alicia Fox then starts to... Oh no, sorry. Before Alicia Fox gets to R-Truth, Akira Tozawa, Drew Gallagher, and some other people that are way down the card, they run out to attack R-Truth. R-Truth jumps in the Women's Rumble. Alicia Fox beats him up, pins him, becomes a 24/7 champion. Nobody then wants to... none of the guys want to attack Alicia Fox because she's a woman. That's, the whole mixed match that they don't really do anymore. But it does get to a point where Alicia Fox is eliminated, and R-Truth pins her on the outside of the ring, and he becomes like the 50th time 24/7 champion or whatever, and then makes a run for it.
What I would have loved is just see all those male wrestlers just go in the Women's Rumble, just destroy everyone, just take over.
Yeah.
And then go ding men's Royal Rumble.
Like Akira Tozawa wins the Women's Royal Rumble or something like that.
Yeah.
R-Truth wins the Women's Royal Rumble. I always like seeing R-Truth come out and do something stupid. That is his character. He does it well. He is funny. However, bringing in all of these 24/7 title competitors and having them interrupt a Women's Royal Rumble seems a little bit disrespectful. Like, creative aren't taking the Women's Royal Rumble serious enough, so they thought we'll just throw in a segment right in the middle. And also, as Alicia Fox was being announced as the new 24/7 champion, the camera was on her and Mandy Rose's music played, and Mandy Rose was at the top of the entrance ramp doing her entrance while everyone was looking at Alicia Fox, you know, now being the new champion. And it's kind of like, man, you've taken away that women's moment in the Royal Rumble. Now, I want to touch on something as well. I had mentioned it a little bit lower down in my notes, but I kind of want to touch on it just now. They were using some sort of weird enhanced 4K camera. I'm not a technical guy, I don't know if that's a thing, but they were using this camera to capture footage of people running down to the running down to the ring for their entrance in the Royal Rumble. But the camera was so high definition that it made them look like video game characters. It's hard to describe. If you watch it, you'll notice what I'm talking about. It's like
that could be something to do with the lighting, makeup, and all that. But they might have put a filter on the camera.
It was like, do you know those cameras that you can put them on like you can put them on like tripods and stands that move in such a way that the camera is permanently steady.
Yeah.
And you can just instantly tell that there's something else present. Like, the camera moves on this stand thing, but the image that the camera's taking is completely still and completely focused. It was something like that. And as I say, it was really enhanced, and it made everyone who came down to the ring look like they were video game characters. And then it cut to the hard cam of the ring, and it was just back to normal. Yeah, it was just something that I'd noticed. I'm not sure if that's something that they have been using a bit, because obviously it's used for every person making their way to the ring. It's something that I picked up on. So, yep, Alicia Fox becomes the 24/7 title, 24/7 champion, and Mandy Rose doesn't get a proper entrance. The next entrant that comes out is Tamina Snuka. I've written down in my notes here, Tamina, Vince McMahon helped my dad get away with murder Snuka. And obviously that's a kind of big rumour going about. Well, it's not even a big rumour going about, but it's a rumour that's maybe resurfaced because BT Sports put out on their social media, tell us a rumour about WWE that you can't believe is true. And a lot of people are saying, I can't believe that Sasha Banks is 5-0 at WrestleMania. I can't believe that Daniel Bryan's been in the business for this many years or whatever. And somebody put up, I can't believe that Vince McMahon helped Jimmy Snuka get away with murder and nobody's doing anything about this. And that was like 25 years ago. And BT Sports, like, they deleted the comment obviously, but there's been so many screen captures of it before it was deleted that it will now go down in history as one of the best Twitter responses for this guy. So we get lots of people running to the ring, and it just made me think, do you not remember what happened to Titus O'Neil when he ran to the ring?
I mean,
and he went under the ring? And there was a thing at the beginning of the pay-per-view, it was going through the rules of the Royal Rumble, like the bullshit 90-second rule. Every 90 second a new competitor will enter. Yeah, that's not true. I timed a couple of them for the men's Royal Rumble. One of them was 90, one of them was 100, one of them was 30, one of them was like 2 whole minutes before someone else came to the ring. So I don't know why they stick to this 90-second rule when they can just say that at random points a new entrant will come down to the ring or something like that.
Maybe it's like on average every 90 seconds.
Yeah, like even if they said on average, I'd be like, okay, they've covered it. You know, they've explained it, that's why it's not, you know, the same every time. But during this bit where they were explaining the rules, they were obviously talking about people that hold records. So you've got like Kane that holds the record for the most eliminations.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Kane again, who holds the record for most Rumble entrants or something like that. And then again we get the only 2 men have won the Royal Rumble from the first position, and one of those men is Shawn Michaels. And then they just move on to the next part instead of saying that the other man was Chris Benoit.
Like, why don't they just say only one man?
Why not just say only one man, or Shawn Michaels has won the Royal Rumble from the first position? Like, but they still word it as if they want people to ask, well, who's the other person?
Yeah.
Like, why won't you tell us who the other person is? So it talks about the longest time being spent in the ring, which I believe has been held by Rey Mysterio, who was in there for over an hour. The shortest length of time someone's been in the ring, which is Santino Marella, who was eliminated after a second. And then it mentioned, and some people don't even make it to the ring, and it shows you the clip of Titus O'Neil face planting it and sliding under the ring, and then a bunch of Saudi Arabian people laughing at him. So yeah, a lot of people were running to the ring this night, and I was kind of like, you're going to fall, and I don't want you to fall, but you're going to fall. So the elimination rule is ignored a lot during the Women's Royal Rumble. So Nia Jax gets eliminated, but then climbs back in the ring and eliminates 2 other people. To me, that shouldn't count. To me, if you have been eliminated, you need to leave.
Yeah, you're not involved.
You need to leave. If you climb back in the ring, you should be threatened with suspension. If you climb back in the ring and eliminate someone, that person should be allowed to climb back in the ring and continue to compete, because you're not a competitor anymore. So that rule was kind of ignored a lot.
That's what happened to Shawn Michaels. He got eliminated when he was going to face The Undertaker, I'm pretty sure. He went back in and like the referee's like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Just Nia Jax apparently, no, it just doesn't matter. I hear it.
I don't mind it if someone doesn't enter the Rumble and waits for a perfect moment to come in.
Because that's like bad guy.
Yeah, that's like a bad thing. So that's like something
which
Alberto Del Rio done. No, it wasn't. Alberto Del Rio won it, and Santino Marella went under the ring. So when Alberto Del Rio threw out the last person, he was like, oh my god, I've done it, and he was on his knees and he was so happy, and then Santino Marella climbed over the top rope, because he never even entered in order to be eliminated, so he climbed in, tried to eliminate Alberto Del Rio, and still get thrown over the top rope. So I don't mind it when they do that, because to me that always gives you like a little bit of, oh well, hold on a minute, that person wasn't eliminated, or that person didn't even get into the ring. Oh my god, this, like there's a bit of a twist there. Jerry Lawler is on commentary for the Women's Royal Rumble, and he's wearing this really like wholesome jumper, and it is just like a cardigan that's got pictures of crowns on it, and he just looks like a really wholesome version of Jerry Lawler, which we don't get because he's quite a creep. Yeah, so I don't know, he just looked like he was like a dad, just like a grandpa or something like that, just sitting there in his nice wee wholesome jumper. Bianca Belaire wins the Royal Rumble, which I am not even upset about. There was a moment where Bianca Belaire and Rhea Ripley went over the top rope together, and Bianca's feet touched the ground. However, that clearly wasn't supposed to happen, so the referees ignored it, and her and Rhea Ripley got back in before Rhea was then fairly eliminated, and Bianca took away the winning position of the Rumble. Now, a lot of people have been like, oh, that shouldn't count, Rhea should have won it and stuff like that. It's scripted, wrestling is scripted, and there was a botch. They're not going to change the entire storyline because of one botch. I would like them to use it as a storyline. Like Rhea Ripley watches the Rumble back in her own time and goes, hold on a minute, I should have won that. And Bianca's like, no, the referee never seen it, so the referee can't call what they can't see, which means I was still technically in the match. And then they have another 1-on-1 and Bianca wins it overall, and that fills TV time for a week, and it does actually have a storyline built into it. But WWE haven't released any statements on the botch, and they probably won't, but a lot of the fans are not too pleased that there was a botch at all. But it's going to happen. Like, even if you watch even if you watch live TV, there's botches. Like, even if you're watching a real sport, the commentators are going to botch as well.
Yeah.
But it's scripted. There's going to be botches, unfortunately, and you just have to live with that. It's up to the company whether or not they want to admit that botch and incorporate it into a storyline, but that's not for us to decide. So, yep, Bianca Belair wins it. Very emotional moment. She actually gets some mic time after the match, which is pretty cool. You don't really see that. And obviously she's talking about how she wants to thank her mum and dad, and how she hopes that they're proud and stuff like that. So yeah, added to the emotion. It didn't really draw any emotions out of me because the match itself just as good as it wasn't great, and I was kind of ultimately looking more forward to the men's Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
A match I was looking forward to, however, that wasn't a Royal Rumble, was Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns in a last man standing match.
Oh god, some of the stuff I've seen in that is just... Have you watched it?
I have watched it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Yeah, I don't think it was as good as their TLC match.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was as good as the I Quit Hell in a Cell match with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. But I liked the match. I thought it was pretty good.
It's just... have you ever seen anyone being run over by a golf cart?
Yeah, there was definitely moments that were completely stolen from AEW. Like, not just the golf cart, but there was like the scaffolding bump that happened between Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara, and that was the moment where Matt Hardy concussed himself. But after 30 seconds of being reviewed by a medical doctor, he was cleared to continue the match. But yeah, the golf cart thing was kind of... There's... As much as I like the match, there's definitely some things I would have changed. I would have taken away and just maybe not done them at all. MJF was very active on social media during the Royal Rumble when that happens, where he created a meme, you know, the meme where it's like, can I copy your homework? And it's like, yeah, just don't make it obvious. And it was 4 stills. So one of the golf cart in AEW, one of the Matt Hardy incident on AEW, and then obviously the Royal Rumble match between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. And it was kind of like, the world knows, like, you're not getting away with it. Everybody knows that it's been stolen. Nobody is going, wow, that's such an original idea. Everybody knows that it has been done before.
I mean, it is down to like execution and all that though.
Yeah, it's down to execution. I think Sammy Guevara done an amazing job of being hit by a golf cart.
Yeah, that was
honestly, that's how I would expect any person to be hit by a golf cart. It was such an intense hit he took. Okay, so yeah, the match was good, but there were some moments I would change. So next up then is the men's Royal Rumble. It was already revealed that Randy Orton and Edge would be the first 2 competitors.
Which I thought was weird, because they could have just started it off as a surprise.
Exactly. I thought it was a weird thing to spoil. They also spoiled number 30 when they said that Natalya was going to enter at number 30. Natalya wasn't a surprise though. I kind of want, you know, I wanted Natalya in it, but don't tell me when she's coming out. And definitely don't tell me that she's number 30.
Mm-hmm.
Make number 30 a little bit of a bonus. Like, Mickie James was in the Royal Rumble. We had not Trish Stratus, which is the other woman's name. Tori Wilson was in the Women's Royal Rumble. Have them come out at number 30. Like, because number 30, you don't expect number 30 to win it, but number 30 is your... Number 30, number 27 are your surprise ones.
Yeah.
Number 27 is always your surprise, you know, as a legend, as a, you know, a celebrity, is it something, is it someone cool? And then number 30 is obviously the last person that's coming out, so make it somebody good. Don't tell everyone who it's going to be. I mean, they're definitely not doing very good with this whole number 30 thing after after I was in a bar watching the Royal Rumble in 2015, and number 30 was Roman Reigns, and that entire bar wanted to kill Roman Reigns just for being number 30. They did not like that man. And if you go to YouTube, you can watch the exact moment where some guy in England, I believe, as they're doing the countdown, the guy's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Samoa Joe. Dun it, and then everybody in this bar just goes fuck off. So yeah, they're not doing a very good job with surprising people just now.
Well, what do you think about the men's Royal Rumble number 30?
I don't know, because it's someone that I knew was going to be in it, and as soon as it got to number 30 and he wasn't in it, I was like, here he comes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be able to deduce who's going to be number 30 because they're supposed to be in it and they're not there yet. I don't know, I would have liked it if it was like fucking Triple H or something.
Yeah.
And he just comes out wearing like an NXT top that he just tears right down the middle or something like that.
Triple H has not wrestled in 2020.
That's very true.
And neither did John Cena.
Yeah, I don't see John Cena coming back anytime soon.
Well, he says he can't make WrestleMania. There's no way he can.
Nah, that doesn't bother me. It's still going to be a closed door situation with WrestleMania, so I don't mind John Cena not making an appearance. So yes, number 1 and 2 were spoiled by WWE. It wasn't even a leak. They openly came out and said, breaking news, Edge and Randy Orton will be number 1 and 2. So Edge is number 1, which was cool. Randy Orton comes out number 2, which is cool. They have a really good, intense one-on-one in which Edge takes Randy Orton to breaking point. He looks pissed, he looks angry, he looks like he's out for blood. Number 3, Sami Zayn. We have a young girl on the Thunderdome who's holding a John Cena toy, and every time somebody's music hits, she makes this John Cena toy dance. It's like, right, he's not going to be there, right? I don't know what you're waiting. I don't know if that's the only toy you have or if you're holding it specifically for John Cena, but he's not showing up. So yes, Edge and Randy Orton. Randy Orton and Sami Zayn pin up. What do they do? They pick on Edge. Yeah, they tag up and they pick on Edge. Number 4, Mustafa Ali comes out and he again picks on Edge. So there's 3 against 1 just now with Edge.
No retribution whatsoever, by the way.
Yep, no retribution at all, which
makes no sense because they're supposed to be like messing everything up, especially with Mustafa.
Like if Mustafa Ali was coming out, I would have T-Bag, Slapnuts. I'd have someone else come out with him, just as like a bodyguard or something, or like help him win. But anyway, Mustafa Ali starts beating up Edge as well, and he starts screaming in Edge's face, "You're going to take a spot away from me," because obviously Mustafa Ali wasn't very happy to hear that Goldberg was getting given a title opportunity. Edge was going to be in the Royal Rumble. Stuff like that. Mustafa Ali is very, whether it's his character or like deep down how he feels, he is very all about that, he's been in the business and not being looked at. He should be getting these spots rather than people that have wrestled for like 10, 15 years and stuff and then took time out or supposedly retired or had become Hall of Famers, which I suppose I didn't realise this, I didn't really think about it, but if you're a Hall of Famer, you're not supposed to come back and wrestle. Obviously Edge being a Hall of Famer has come back and wrestled. I don't even mind, man. Like, it depends who it is.
Yeah.
I would say Edge, Christian, Undertaker, DX. Let them come back. I don't care.
Being a Hall of Famer is all about your contribution to the company.
Yeah, I would definitely say that Mark Henry is a Hall of Famer, but I would love to see Mark Henry come back and kick some ass.
Yeah. Break a ring or something.
Exactly. So we were Mustafa Ali's out alone. Jeff Hardy's number 5. Jeff Hardy doesn't really get to do much before he's just absolutely destroyed, man. Like, Edge finds a corner to sit in and recuperate. Randy Orton, Mustafa Ali and Sami Zayn all beat up Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy doesn't take the beating very well, gets eliminated. Number 6, Dolph Ziggler. Number 7, Shinsuke Nakamura, which is where we get Corey Graves saying that he's bringing back the King of Strong Style title. Number 8 is the surprise Carlito.
Yeah.
Who was shredded.
Buff, man.
Carlito was like cool looking when he was there.
I think when I used to watch WWE, he was there, and he was fit, but he wasn't like. He was
never. Yeah, he was like. I'm trying to think of who you could compare him to. He was never bulk and he was never buff, but he's always been in shape.
Yeah.
If you would say that.
High flyer style.
But yeah, so Carlito's back. Now he was supposed to appear at Raw Legends, which was a couple of weeks ago, and basically put out on social media, I'm not going to be there, I'm not going to fly out, I'm not going to risk catching a virus for a 30-minute segment where I don't do anything. And then clearly they've went, okay, we kind of get where you're coming from, Carlito, do you want to be in the Royal Rumble? And he's like, fuck yes. So yeah, he came back, which was cool.
Oh, it would have been nicer with a crowd though, but
it would have been better if there was more of a pop and the cheer was actually real. Number 9 is Xavier Woods, who comes out with Brody Lee gear, which was...
Oh yeah, they
really
had
nice.
a little bit with Brody Lee's gear.
It was really nice. I didn't realise that all the guys in the New Day had such a good connection with Brody Lee. Now, we haven't done an episode since John Huber or Brody Lee has passed. I did put out a social media thing, and I've not done like a big massive tribute or anything like that, and I don't think I'm going to. I think it's
been done.
It's happened.
Yeah.
The whole wrestling industry handled it very well. At no point was anyone tasteless. At no point has anyone not acknowledged that he done a lot for their company, whether that's WWE, whether that's NXT, whether that's CZW, AEW, whatever. Everyone has been very respectful about it, and Tony Khan has given Brody Lee's son a contract, and every time he makes a TV appearance he's getting paid, and the kid is like 10 years old or something like that, so
Brody Lee's a family man, and that's the
yeah.
best thing you can be in a business, because being a wrestler is a part of being a family.
Yeah.
You've got to look out for all the wrestlers, you've got to connect with them, you've got to work with them, get the best you can, and some wrestlers just aren't that.
Yeah.
That's why people don't like them. Like Shawn Michaels used to be quite a selfish wrestler.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, assholes in the business, really.
That's why they've got a bit of a notorious streak to them.
Yeah.
Brody Lee, you've never gotten that. So.
Brody Lee touched a lot of hearts in the business, and it's a shame that it took his passing for the wrestling world to kind of come together. And you can say that about a lot of people. Like in Scotland, we had a wrestler called Lionheart, who was one of my trainers during my training days, and he passed away. And Chris Jericho, The Rock, like that. This man has only ever competed in WWE as a dark match jobber. Like, this man was never on the WWE roster. It was before AEW's conception. This man was the king of the indie scene in the UK, and again, it's a shame to think that it takes a death of that person for that person to... It's like ironic. That person gets so much love coming out from all these people that they may not have even met, and they're not even here to realise that that's how they've impacted these people's lives.
Well,
so
I mean, it happens a lot in like any media. Like you got to die young to be a legend.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people think Eminem's corny right now because he's been around for so long. But if he died when he was at the height of his career, he'd be known as the best rapper of all time.
Yeah.
it's a weird stipulation. You know what I mean? You gotta.
It's the weird sort of irony of life.
It's hard to be the best when you know.
Yeah. So yes, Xavier Woods and Big E paid really nice respect to Brody Lee by wearing this gear.
Yeah.
Xavier Woods comes out as number 9. Still looks good, still looks jacked, still a good performer. Big E then follows at number 10.
They have a little.
They have
wrestling
a really good
team.
sort of tag team moment inside the ring, which is cool.
Especially when we won't be seeing them tag team. For a while.
Exactly. Number 11, John Morrison. Before we move on, number 11 is John Morrison. Mustafa Ali eliminates Xavier Woods, and Big E has this look in his face as if he wants to strangle the sheer life out of Mustafa Ali. And every time Big E has a moment like that, I instantly think that we are getting day by day closer to Big Evil becoming a reality, and it's going to get to that point where yes, we are here. Because he has this angry look in his face. Mustafa Ali turns round, Big E grabs him by the throat, beats him up a lot, and then throws him out of the ring. And it doesn't even throw him over the top rope. Like, he throws him out into the stratosphere out of the ring. Like, it's such a good elimination by a big guy. Number 12 is Ricochet, who
sadly is still in the company.
Sadly is still stuck in WWE. However, during the Royal Rumble he was able to show off a bit of his gymnastics ability, which is good.
Very
yeah,
good.
It's what we don't get to see enough of just now. Number 13 we have Elias. Number 14, Damian Priest, the Archer of Infamy from NXT. Not a lot of NXT guys here, but Damian Priest I thought was definitely a good choice to let him come in. The Miz comes out at number 15. The Miz, before he even comes into the ring, smashes the DJ setup that was left behind by Bad Bunny, which is how we end up with this speculation that The Miz and Bad Bunny will have a WrestleMania match to waste everybody's time. The Miz is again Mr. Money in the Bank. He had his title cashed in, but there was a loophole that it wasn't actually Miz that cashed in, it was John Morrison that cashed in for Miz. So Miz was given the briefcase and the contract back. So he is again Mr. Money in the Bank, but obviously wanted to solidify his chances of facing the champion and winning the Royal Rumble. Unfortunately that's not the case. Damian Priest eliminates John Morrison and knocks the Miz off of the ropes before he actually gets in the ring, so he's still safe from elimination. However, John Morrison is gone. Bad Bunny comes out, climbs up to the top rope and does a really shitty suicide dive onto the Miz and Morrison. Just a waste of time in my opinion.
I mean, like the name as well, Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Like for a wrestler, you could shorten that down to BB. Because like CM Punk's called Chick Magnet.
Yeah.
Corny,
CM Chick Magnet Punk. And there is another CM out there because he was a tag team. They were both Chick Magnet something, Chick Magnet Punk. I can't remember who the other guy was though. But yeah, so Bad Bunny does a leap off the top rope and lands on Miz and Morrison. Michael Cole then says, "I've heard of flying squirrels but not flying bunnies." Fuck off, Michael Cole. just leave. Take your headset off and leave. Number 16, Matt Riddle. Swiftly move on. Number 17, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Now,
a lot of people picked to win.
A lot of people had Daniel Bryan to win. I didn't. However, as he was in the ring and as he was sort of showing off his ability, I was like, oh, hold on a minute, Daniel Bryan might kind of pull it out of the bag here. Number 18, Kane.
Team Hell No.
Yeah. Team Hell No. Bryan Danielson alongside his tag team partner Mayor Glenn Jacobs, who I believe is still Mayor of Knox County. However, I think he's in the process of stepping down because he was a big Trump supporter, and after Trump was kicked out of office, I nearly called him Kane. Glenn Jacobs hasn't been getting the best reception from the people of his county, but that's besides the point. Team Hell No.
He still is mayor, but yeah, it's stepping down.
Yeah, slowly getting to the point where he's stepping down. So Team Hell No back together again, but then Kane instantly eliminates Daniel Bryan, and no, he doesn't eliminate him. Sorry, he beats up Daniel Bryan, like he chokeslams him, and then he's like sorry. Number 19, King Corbin. Number 20...
Still King?
Still King, yep, still King. I don't know when the next King of the Ring will be, because it's not an annual event, it's maybe, I think it's like... The last... Before King Corbin was royally... what would you call it? Royally crowned King Corbin. The last King of the Ring before that was like 5 years or something like that, but it's been random.
Yeah.
It's not an annual thing, which is good.
Maybe the next time he'll be disgraced Corbin when he loses that.
Yeah.
That'll be like a cool story you could get going
something
on.
like that, like the fallen King Corbin or whatever like that. But yeah, so you've got King Booker T, what was his name? Booker King Booker, that's what it is. King Booker, Jerry the King Lawler, Wade Barrett was King Barrett, I believe. And now he's commentating. He left altogether, man. Then he came back and he's commentating on NXT, which is good.
Is he good?
He's a good commentator. I would like to see him get back in the ring. He was a really good competitor, but
he was pretty good.
there was backstage heat and he just didn't go down well. Number 20 is Otis. He's still going. Number 21 is Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yep, don't have much to say about Dominic. He's not getting any better in my eyes at all.
It's weird how he's still in it.
Yeah. Number 22, Bobby Lashley, the CEO of the Hurt Business. I don't like the Hurt Business, but I like watching Bobby Lashley fight people.
Oh yeah.
Because he's just such an aggressive looking guy. It's cool. Number 23, Hurricane Helms. There's a hurricane. He comes out to the ring looking in better shape than what he did at last year's Rumble. He did not look good in last year's Rumble.
He does the same thing though that he done in like 2002, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he does the same thing. I believe in 2002 it was The Undertaker and Triple H or something. He done the sort of the double.
It was Stone Cold.
Was it Stone Cold he done it with?
Yeah.
Undertaker and Stone Cold?
No, Undertaker and Triple H.
Undertaker and Triple H. No, Stone Cold and Triple H.
And Triple H, yeah.
Yeah, he does like a double choke thing, and he just... Because this year he does it on Bobby Lashley and Big E, who look at each other and then look at Hurricane Helms, and they're just kind of like, right, cool, you're going out. Number 24 comes out, and it's Christian. Now at this point, Edge is still in the ring. He is taking quite a beating. He's been in there for like 45 minutes or something. So Christian coming out, they both look at each other from the ring. The camera zooms in on Edge and you can see that he's tired and he's beat up and he's like semi-conscious, but then a smile forms on his face and it's like, oh, Edge. So that was good. We then have number 25, AJ Styles, who was my pick to win. I actually put money on AJ Styles to win it because to me that just seemed quite logical storyline wise. However, but anyway, number 26, Rey Mysterio. Now this is the first time that a father and son have both competed in the same Royal Rumble match. AJ Styles came out at number 25 with Omos, who's his big guy. Omos eliminates Big E, which to me I wasn't too bothered about because in my opinion there was no one in that ring that could have eliminated Big E.
Yeah.
It had to be this big 7-foot ex-basketball player Omos that eliminates him from the outside. I thought that was good. Omos was quite good support.
Yeah, he catched AJ, didn't he?
Caught AJ twice and helped eliminate like 3 people. And the commentators were like, he can't do that. Like, he's not in the match, he can't do that. But the referees were like, nah man, feet touch the ground. Number 26, Rey Mysterio. Number 27, Sheamus, who gets in the ring. He does that sort of crucifix over the top rope bash on the chest to who's it he does it to first? Is it AJ? No, it's Is it AJ does it to first, and then he does it to Edge? And Edge being almost 50, like at the end of that, he looks like he's fucked. Like he looks winded as hell. Sheamus climbs in the ring, takes out everybody, man. Sheamus pure cleans house. Almost eliminates Rey Mysterio. Cesaro comes out at number 28. Cesaro and Sheamus almost punch each other, and then they extend their thumbs and their fists to make like the bar symbol, which was really cool. And then Cesaro just European uppercuts him, and then he picks up Sheamus's legs to do the swing thing, and Sheamus is like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm sorry, man. Every man for themselves." And he just spins him round, and Sheamus doesn't get back up, which is it's weird. Like, okay, I understand it makes you dizzy, but then hit the guy. Don't just spin him round and drop them, because
spin around and then do a move on him.
Yeah, something like that. Because yes, you've discombobulated them, you've confused them, they're dizzy, they're maybe out of breath or whatever. Do something to them to then keep them down.
But maybe that's more of a health and safety rule.
Maybe
because like you have actually properly dizzied them.
Yeah, there's no way that's like you can't sell that.
Mm-hmm.
You are dizzy.
you probably like if they got hit, they would probably something bad would happen.
Yeah, something their brain's already spinning as you're like.
They wouldn't be able to react and say. Yeah.
Imagine like doing the Cesaro swing and then like tombstoning them.
Yeah.
You would definitely kill them. So
try and stun them and they'll just like they just stand there.
Their head comes off. So the bar reunite for a second. Cesaro turns on Sheamus and does the swing. Very close elimination. He then does the swing to Daniel Bryan. Now I've not kept a track of who eliminated who. I just kind of feel that doesn't need to be said. Number 29, Seth Rollins is back.
That was good.
Yeah, I thought that was good as well. I quite enjoyed him coming back. Thought that was okay. And then number 30 is Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman, who I don't think he surpasses Brock Lesnar's record of eliminations. I think Brock Lesnar's record of elimination is 13. Braun Strowman's is also 13, but they don't surpass that. I think it was 13 men in the ring to eliminate. But it comes down to the wire, and it is Edge versus Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins then gets eliminated, and before Edge has a chance to celebrate winning, which he technically hasn't done yet, he gets an RKO out of nowhere. And the way that they work the camera for this RKO out of nowhere thing is great. Yeah. Especially when it's a closed doors show with the Thunderdome. Because obviously if you're there watching it live, you can be like, oh, here he comes, he's in the ring, RKO. Not really out of nowhere. Right. But the way they do the camera angles for the Royal Rumble was really good, because it was like Seth Rollins gets up and he's like, what the fuck, why, come on, I had such a good chance of winning that. And then he walks away, and then it just turns round, and for a split second you can only see the front of the ring and Edge, and then just off screen you can see the hands coming round for the RKO, so which was an RKO out of nowhere, so that was great.
I mean, like, see if it was live, they could easily work it until he comes from under the ring, like a hatch or something, and then he comes and RKOs him, but it's like the same Alberto thing that you said earlier. Yeah, but
it's, to the people watching it live, it's not a surprise. Like, even when they do the lights off kind of thing, like when they turn off the lights, it's dark for the cameras because they turn off their feed for a second. Mm-hmm. Whereas when you're there watching it live, it's not that dark.
Nah.
Like,
health and safety again.
Again, health and safety, yeah, exactly. So Edge eliminates Randy Orton. Edge is going to WrestleMania. They have not released any posters of Edge versus Drew McIntyre or Edge versus Roman Reigns. So I think there will be a title change before WrestleMania, to which Edge will be facing a different opponent. I don't know if I want Roman to lose the title or Drew to lose the title. I don't really want either to lose the title, but I don't feel that Edge has got any reason to face Drew or to face Roman.
They need a story.
They need a story, and they don't have long to build a story now.
The easiest way is to like get Randy to win one of the
I
titles
know.
and then make it a triple threat match.
I know, but again, Randy Orton and Edge. The last time we seen them having a match was the greatest wrestling match, which was not the greatest wrestling match.
It was okay.
It was a mediocre wrestling match, but I suppose that doesn't really fit well on a poster. Anyway, so Edge is the winner of this year's Royal Rumble, and Bianca Belair has won the Women's Royal Rumble. There was no title changes apart from the kickoff show when we had the Women's Tag Team title changed. The Men's Tag Team title wasn't defended. The mid-card belts weren't defended, which I'm happy with, because Big E's spotlight to me was the Royal Rumble. I wouldn't really want Big E to come out tired, or Big E just to not have a spot because he had an IC match before. I think that the Royal Rumble was handled quite well this year.
Yeah.
There was definitely some matches I would have tweaked a little bit. Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens, for example. But no, I thought that WWE did quite well this pay-per-view, considering obviously we've reviewed all of the other pay-per-views. They've all been pretty shit.
So
maybe one was one was good. I think we rated one like a 3-star, 3.5 or something.
Was that Extreme Rules?
No, because Extreme Rules was the horror show.
Yeah.
No, definitely wasn't Extreme Rules.
We did like WrestleMania.
Was it Hell in a Cell we reviewed? I can't remember.
Must have.
It might. I'm trying to think, because TLC. What came before TLC? Payback? No. Backlash?
Backlash did happen, didn't it?
Backlash did happen, but Backlash was the triple threat match between The Fiend, Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns that didn't show up until the very end.
I hated that.
We hated that. Anyway, so I'm just very cautious of the time here. Don't want to make the podcast too long for the first episode of season 2.
Yeah.
So just to keep everyone in the loop, this is a new format. We will be doing audio only, pre-recorded, and we'll be uploading it to the best scheduling ability that we have. Luke has his own stuff to do. Luke has his own schedule to keep up with, as do I. With work and stuff here and there. So you will get your weekly episodes or bi-weekly episodes depending on what life throws at us. However, they may not be the same day, they may not be the same length. We might not even cover a full week of wrestling. We might just focus on a show and just touch on little bonus bits here and there depending on what it is. So pay-per-views again we'll try and cover maybe a couple of days after, maybe a week after, whatever, but you will get a pay-per-view review from us. We hope everyone had a good Christmas, a good New Year. We hope the beginning of 2021 has been good to everyone, but to the world it hasn't really changed. Still the same lockdown, still the same virus and such. We will be doing the blog that was mentioned at the tail end of last year. That will be dealt with. I will be doing the ICW review for the episodes that are on the WWE Network just now. I'll be reviewing them episode by episode, and we will do the Invasion stuff that was promoted at the end of last year as well that we didn't get around to. But we're new to the podcast game. We are now in season 2. We're slowly finding our stride, and that is where we plan on going. I would like to interview people. I'd like to interview fans of wrestling, fans of the show. There are wrestling personalities that I am in contact with on social media, and I would like to maybe drop a little hint to them about getting them on the show or having some sort of interview that I can type up and post online or whatever. But yes, 2021, a new year for us, a new year for the podcast, and we'll see where life takes us. But thank you very much for listening to the Royal Rumble. There will be no W Factor crowning this episode. We will get back into the swing of things and start crowning some new people and stuff like that. And there will be more fan interaction on social media as well, so keep an eye out for that.
And also, because of the nature of the more video/audio format, we can do different kinds of episodes.
We certainly can.
So we can do like where we just discuss wrestlers.
Yeah.
And their
We
like
can just-
how we like rankings and all that.
Yeah.
The tier lists.
I'm happy to
that
do
kind of thing. I think that would be quite interesting.
I would like to go through our current list of W Factor champions and maybe choose one that we feel might be the best of the best just now, like the King of Kings just now.
I mean, I'd say MJF.
Yeah, MJF. MJF is one of the
or
most.
Big E.
Or Big E, definitely. But yeah, so that is what the future has in store for us. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.